Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurlaily. I'm from Regular for I. In here, I want to explain about was the British Empire a force for a good or bad. Firstly, you need to consider what the purpose of an empire is. For the nation that imperialistic, it will lend itself to power, prestige, economic growth. There may be social motivation to spread a certain type of civilization. Empires throughout history have set out to do these things, be that the Romans wanting to conquer the known world and impose their ideas, the Mongol horde seeking to dominate or the spread of religious ideas and a way of life, as seen in the expansion of the early Islamic Empire. The British Empire is little different in that regard. It set out to make England, then Britain, more powerful. It sought to gain commercial advantage over its competitors. Some expansion was done with missionary work in mind, with education as one of the aims. Other elements were done purely for financial gain. Why? When do people ask if it's good or a bad thing? Surely, economic prosperity, inventiveness, education, new technologies, anything else are good things. However, there is a dark side to some of the methods employed. It is this darker side, some of the methods that leads to questions about the British Empire being a negative. Examples include the slave trade. It doesn't need much in the way of explanation to show that using slaves as part of the mechanics of building the empire is something that is just plain bad. You do need to consider the context of the day and look at the question around how it came about, why it continued, and what the implications are, but is clearly wrong on every level. Culture. The people in colonies part of the world often found their language and tradition repressed. Being forced to accept someone else's beliefs is not a good thing. This happened a lot when empires grow. In the British Empire, it happened with indigenous people of Australia and New Zealand as two examples. It also happened inside the British Isles. The Scottish Highlands were clear, with Highland. Ireland also showed its cultural identity challenge. It benefited the British, but a negative things for the colonies. In Ireland, a tactic of divide and conquer was implemented, with Catholic and Protestant divides still felt today. In the 1840, over 1 million Irish people starved to death while enough food to feed the country's population. Twice over was being explored by the British. Ireland suffered horrendously because of an 800-year campaign to destroy the language, way of life and freedom of its people. economic explanation, an argument that a colony is stripped of its research with little or nothing being given back. The settlement of Ireland is one such example of this. It is all bad then? No. The empire has negative, but also many positives. Thus, the empire has not replaced by the Commonwealth. Many now independent nations choose to be members of the organization. This simply would not happen if the empire had not had benefits for them. As well as for Great Britain, many parts of the empire benefit from access to high quality technology and education. This gives them a firm basis upon which to develop as independent nation. Okay, I think enough for my explanation the about was the British Empire a force for a good or bad. And thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.